Hi, I'm Chris Holloman. I'm the president of Centenary College. I'm honored to lead an institution that has made a significant commitment to our students and to their education through the Centenary in Paris program. By our students being able to go to a new country early in their college experience, we live out our commitment to a global society and to preparing our students to live and work in a world where they will deal with people from other countries. They themselves will live in an environment where national boundaries mean so much less than they have in the past. I frequently tell students, if they leave Centenary the same person that they were when they got here, we haven't done our job. And that starts with the Centenary in Paris program. Our students will come back different. Maybe in small ways, just having had a dish that they've never eaten before, but maybe in large ways, having learned and lived in a foreign culture, maybe even had a chance to speak to people at length from another country, either in Paris or the other students from other countries that are living in the FIAP where our students were housed. It's such an important experience. I am really honored that Centenary makes this commitment, and I look forward to accompanying the students next year.
The Writing Paris, Writing Home class, and I really like it so far. It's been a lot of fun to read writings written in Paris since we were going to come here and learn about the authors and where they've been staying, so I've liked it a lot. I'm most excited about visiting the Eiffel Tower just because I've seen it on TV and in movies and books, and so it's going to be great to be able to see it in person.
My name is Edward Reagan. My class was Paris Places, and briefly, the class was an effort to help students think about how to view sites historically, to think about the meanings behind those sites, oftentimes the multiple meanings, and how those have evolved over time. We also wanted students to think about how that meaning shapes a people's identity. So for example, we think about a place like the Eiffel Tower, which was reviled when it was first built in the late 19th century, but today it's one of the most iconic symbols of Paris. Notre Dame is another good example. When Notre Dame burned a few months ago, there were Parisians who said, I walk by this place every day, but I never really paid it that much attention. But after the fire, I realized how deeply it resonated within my soul. One of the things that we had students do before we left for Paris is we had them do a brief writing exercise where they identified something from their hometown, a place from their hometown that resonated with them, that helped inform their identity, so that when they arrived in Paris, they could relate to what Parisians see as quintessential landmarks that help shape their identity. After our trip to Paris, we took a walking tour of downtown Shreveport, where we went to Antioch Baptist Church. The stained glass in Antioch Baptist Church is nowhere on a scale of Sainte-Chapelle, for example. But students were able to realize that the meaning and the significance of that stained glass in Antioch Baptist Church in Shreveport is equal to the meaning and the symbolism of the stained glass at Sainte-Chapelle in Paris. I think students were able to learn from this. They were able to see that the size of a historic site or the perceived significance of a historic site is not what's so important. What is important is the meaning that it has for the individual.
I'm Jefferson Hendricks, Professor of English and Film Studies. And in Paris, I teach a course entitled Writing Paris, Writing Home. It's a creative writing class in which we look at language and how we can charge that language using sensory imagery, using very concrete, direct language. My hope is that students will take this class and begin next semester writing better than they would have otherwise. They certainly will be writing more directly, more concretely, more concisely, and I'm very excited about that. The students this semester really enjoyed Paris. They really took to heart our class motto, which is be someone on whom nothing is lost. Henry James, the great American novelist, once said that. And we want our students to go to this new world of Paris, France, to eat, to observe, to walk the city, to see with new eyes, to take that knowledge, come back to their new home here at Centenary College, and to start working to prepare to become leaders for the future. Part of our Centenary goal is to train people to make the world a better place. I was very excited that our students took to heart everything that we offered in Paris and the experience there, and they are now poised to become leaders in Team Centenary. And not only that, they will become leaders in whatever world they choose to enter into after Centenary. I'm very excited for their future.
My name is Dr. Andia Augustin Billy, along with my colleague Dr. Dina Kress from the French department. We teach a wonderful course called Paris Noir, African Americans in the City of Light. And this course allows us to study African Americans who have gone to Paris because things were not so kosher here in the United States. And then when we go to Paris, it allows us to take a look back at our society and how we can better reflect our American values. So by looking at the ways in which African Americans were able to blossom in France, we are able to go back and take a better look at things we can do better here in the United States.
Hello, my name is Dana Kress and I teach at Centenary College in the French department. I'm one of the faculty members who is fortunate enough to be able to take our students to Paris. It's an amazing program because it takes all our students, your children, people you know, from frequently small towns and drops them into a large city that has a rich history, and not only do they discover the city, they really discover themselves. And that's the best part of Centenary College. These students gain so much self-confidence as they learn to operate the metro system and to get around the city while they're learning.
I think my favorite part of being in Paris so far has been learning how to communicate with people who I don't speak the language with, and I've been picking up bits and pieces along the way so I can start to communicate more. But it's been really cool to be able to just meet someone and be able to communicate with body language and just understand what they're trying to say to me without actually speaking the language.
Right hand, so you're going to come down counterclockwise. The enemy is coming up clockwise, which is going to force them to use.
Line coming from La Defense through this arch that we're on, all the way down. If you look down Champs-Élysées to the Louvre.
It was awesome. And so we decided what the painting was all about and why the artist did it. And so that was fun. Practice what we learned in class. So that was the whole point, right?
Imagine like reading a history book and then jumping like feet first, like headstrong into the actual history and like where those people have walked and seen. It's just been absolutely amazing.
Hello, I'm Dr. Catherine Brandel, and I, along with Dr. Jeannie Hamming, taught the Food and Culture Centenary in Paris course. So this year our students got to explore food and culture in Paris and had an opportunity to taste a lot of unusual foods. All of our students got to taste things that they'd never tried before. So they tasted things like escargot, foie gras, and even steak tartare. Of course, they also got to try things like éclair and crepe and macaron. So they got an opportunity to see how the Parisians eat. Now they're working on their food blogs and getting excited about the new fall semester.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Hamming. I'm in the English department, and this year's Centenary in Paris course that I taught with Catherine Brandel was called Food and Culture. And with students, we looked at how the food we eat, the everyday practices of eating out, of socializing with our friends over a meal, really express who we are as a people, our values, our politics, as well as the history of our nation. And it was really neat to see students go to Paris and see that lots of little things are different. The coffee is stronger and it tends not to be served in giant to-go cups. Water doesn't come with ice. Coke has sugar in it instead of high fructose corn syrup. And while these don't seem like significant differences, once we drill down, they start to realize these have to do with differences in our values, differences in our politics, differences in the infrastructure of our cities. And it was really neat to see students dig deeper and analyze those differences for deeper significance. I was really impressed with students this semester. They were adventurous and brave. They tried things like foie gras and escargot. Some of them liked it, some of them didn't, but they all leaned into the experience.
This has been one of the most life-changing trips I've ever taken in my life, and I'm so blessed to just be around a bunch of great people.
This class is super interesting because we learn about Black culture and Black history in Paris and how it relates to Louisiana history too. Paris is somewhere I've always wanted to travel to, and so I'm super excited to be here and to be learning in this culture. It's super different here than in America because everyone's treated equally no matter what race, ethnicity, like how you identify, everything, everyone's equal, which is very different than how things are in America.
At the Rodin Museum today, and this experience has just been quite different if you've never studied abroad before or even been abroad, whether you're studying or not. Centenary in Paris writing class, I've actually had like a lot of fun. It's not just writing, it's a lot of history too. And you know, we're out here in Paris, out here abroad, you know, across the country. It's fun, like learning to pick up a new language.
Centenary in Paris is an intercultural program, but it's also based on a lot of the most contemporary theories about what makes students successful in college, about having these experiences that open up their mind and challenge them, but do it in a supportive environment where they're building friends and relationships along the way. Centenary in Paris students develop relationships with their faculty members that are really unique, and it really sets them up for success in college. So that's really what Centenary in Paris is all about. It is an intercultural program, but it's also about setting people up for success in college and beyond.
It was a center for artists. So around 1900 or so, Picasso lived up here, Van Gogh lived up here for a while. Almost all of the major impressionists lived up here.
And like being at these places teach you a lot about yourself. Not only do they teach you a lot about the culture, but like you learn things about yourself that you didn't even know. Being in the Moulin Rouge class, I've learned like that there's always a deeper meaning and there's always like a deeper thought to things that you have never thought about before being in this class.
We might have been like, oh, people are just dancing or people are just doing this, but it conveys a different emotion. It conveys a time period. It conveys a lifestyle or a way of thinking. And learning about the people that walked the streets that we're walking on and the people that built some of the things that we're looking at, the architecture that's just beautiful.
Hi, I'm Amy Hammond, Professor of Psychology at Centenary College. One of the things that I really love about working here at Centenary is that I, one, get to work with amazing faculty and staff, but also our students are great. And we here at Centenary are able to take those wonderful students and help them to become whatever it is they want to be. We really excel at preparing students for whatever their next steps might be, whether that's graduate school, whether it's the working world, whether it's law school, medical school. Really, whatever your student and you can dream, we can help you get there. We hope you love Centenary as much as we do.
We've gone to about 3 museums so far today. It's been pretty great. My favorite thing about Paris is riding on the metro. I really just like it, it's fun. I don't know why.
My favorite part of the class is our professors, Dr. Kress and Dr. Abe.
And I like just how they've been explaining the culture of Paris to us through different viewpoints. Like we went to Harlem, Paris yesterday? Yeah, to Harlem, Paris yesterday, and we just looked at the imaging and like public presentation and stuff like that.
And my favorite part about the class is really paying attention to the small details that you notice here.
Centenary in Paris exemplifies the outstanding and unique opportunities that the college offers all students, including faculty who are experts in and passionate about their field, small class sizes that allow students to interact with faculty, staff, and their peers, and purposeful educational experiences. I was thrilled to participate in Centenary in Paris this year. Seeing the faculty and staff in action was inspiring, and seeing the students really engage in college-level learning, including critical thinking, civil discourse, and self-reflection, was so gratifying.
And one thing I love that we've learned about is that different types of music really affects a person when you're watching like a film score or like a musical or different kind of operas.
All aboard, we're ready to explore. There's so much.
Yes, indeed. He was bombed on the way to the former Opera House, so he had this built. The other one did ultimately burn down.
I'm Corey Wicken. I led the Let Us Entertain You course through Paris this year. The course was about perception, in particular music perception. We talked prior to going to Paris about music, how we perceive music, how we create opinions of music and then support those opinions. Then while we were in Paris, we went to places like Opera Garnier, explored that building. We heard some music on the street in Montmartre. We attended a concert live at Sainte-Chapelle to further expose ourselves to music. What I really enjoy about this particular course is that it's a combination. So I had some students who are in choir and are part of the music program, and I had a few athletes. So it was a way to start a conversation with musicians and non-musicians about art and music. musicians being able to discuss their art with those who may not understand it, as well as non-musicians able to open themselves up to it being part of something that is perhaps new or foreign to them. So I think Centenary in Paris is great in that it gives them a bite of what being in a liberal arts institution is like, exploring, learning how to communicate, learning how to discuss. All of those things happen in a short time, but expose them to what will come in the next few years.
Hi, I'm Dr. Valerie Brashears, Director of Integrated Advising. I'm so lucky to have gone with the Centenary in Paris students this year. Wow, did we really take 170 plus students to Paris, France? We did, and we all survived. One of my favorite things about Paris was the last evening, the boat cruise on the Seine River. To see all the students come together and have such a great time was just outstanding. I'm happy to get to know the students better. I know that they are an amazing group, and from what I saw in Paris, this is going to be an outstanding academic year.
Welcome back, vlog. Today we're here at UC d'Orsay, aka my crib. Let me show you around.
It's all, that's just the differences between American culture and French culture. Bonjour.
We're gonna wrap up our food and culture. If you ever get the chance to go to Paris, go ahead.